Access to care is one of the biggest national issues that our healthcare systems currently face. Telemedicine just provides a unique platform for our patients to have access to care and also to improve the delivery of care.
One of the things that people really want to do now is self-service. So they want to go on our website and say, how do I get into the system? What are my options if I have some nose congestion? Which ways can I get in? And we have ways of doing e-visits, we call them, which are kind of like email back and forth visits. We have on-demand video visits. But the digital front door just gives people those options. It says, with this complaint and at this time and where you live, here are your options. And by the way, if you choose these options, we will put you right into that visit in most respects.
Our digital health options are all top tier in class. And that's really because Bassett has prioritized staying on the cutting edge, even though we are a rural medical center.
Telemedicine is a way for you to see your doctor where you're at. So if you're home, if you're in the hospital, you only need a computer or a phone to be able to communicate with your doctor. As long as you two have a connection, computer, phone, you can talk to your doctor.
What that has done for our rural patients is allowed them to get state-of-the-art specialties in a location where we have a very, very hard time recruiting those specialties to come live. By having telemedicine available, we're able to bring in the people who would be the second and third opinion to see these patients. This is all very exciting work that we're doing here.
There's so many different levels to telehealth services and programs available here at Bassett.
So for example, there are e-visits, which are simply just a back and forth email-like conversation for simple things, like urinary tract infections or rashes, where you can upload pictures, we can upload information, and patients are given questionnaires, and they love it because they can do it whenever they want. It gets to the practitioner, and the practitioner in our virtual health group will answer it. One of the things that we're really expanding now is another form of virtual health or telehealth, and that is virtual health to the home. We know that a significant percentage of healthcare can be done remotely. Historically, we have known that 80% of the information that leads to a diagnosis is from the history, meaning what the patient tells us, what we ask, not necessarily from the physical exam. So a lot of what we do from physical exam is looking at a patient, looking at how they're breathing, looking at a rash, their skin color, their skin tone. There's so much that you can determine just from that. Is it perfect? Is it for everything? Absolutely not. But there are certain things that work very well for it. And that's really why telehealth visits can be so effective and are a great method for delivery of care.
Historically, in a rural setting, the only thing you had access to was whatever services the hospital had. Telemedicine has opened it up where a specialty doctor, such as cardiology, can stay at the big hospital, the center where they work, but be able to open up an opportunity to see patients 40, 50, 60 miles away at the rural hospital, and that patient can stay in their hometown and still see them. And your doctor is miles away.
So a lot of times waiting is a big problem for specialists, that there's a long wait list. Now that we have a telemedicine appointment, we get them in a lot sooner so things can be dealt with in a quicker fashion, which is always better for care.
Telemedicine and a conventional office visit with a doctor are pretty much the same, other than you have to get used to the fact that you're looking into a computer screen. Staring back at you is your doctor. They're nodding with you, they're listening to you, they're asking you questions, you can hear them, they can hear you. And they can see you, which is very important.
It's in real time. It's not a computer talking to you. It's a real person in real time having conversations. So we're in the room, you're not alone and not awkward, all the same stuff as if the person was standing right there.
Telehealth really does solve a whole bunch of problems, and it also is what our patients want. They want to be seen remotely, especially our younger patients, but some of our patients in their 30s to 80s as well. I think this is the way to do it. It solves a whole bunch of concerns. And then for those patients who absolutely have to be seen in the clinic, it leaves those spaces open so that we can actually see those patients when they want to be seen.
100 years ago, when Mary Imogene Bassett started Bassett Healthcare Network, the motto was creating healthy rural communities. And 100 years later, we are now doing the same work that she started. We are providing patient care in the patient's homes exactly the way that she did 100 years ago. It's amazing to think about where we started and where we are going in terms of telehealth and providing this care to our rural communities, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.